Kenn Kington.
Thank you. They say to quit on a high note. Thank you, good night. You guys are incredible. Thank you for being here. I am just so blessed and humbled and honored. And can I just say this? I love women. I just love women. Yes. I got half of you. All right, that's awesome. Women, they're like people, but nicer. It's incredible, and I love women so much. I married one. I love my wife. She's awesome, and God loves women more than men. I'm convinced of this. I am. He just does. I mean, how else can you explain hair? Really? My wife's hair is everywhere. Everywhere. She's got a brush this big, and it's everywhere. And yet she's got a full head of it. Mine's going away. I can't find it anywhere. And if you had this experience, I go to take a shower. I just go to turn it on, and I look at the drain. It's like, whoa, wow. Is that a hamster? What is that? Wow. And she tried to encourage me, though. My wife said the other day, she goes, oh, I love your new haircut. And I'm like, thanks. She goes, oh, it's like a faux hawk. I said, I don't have a faux hawk. And then I looked in the mirror, and I'm like, that looks like a faux hawk. And I'm telling you, I don't think it's a faux hawk. I just think the hair that's remaining is just going, stay together. Stay together. We got a better chance. And you know what I need more than anything in life is I need perspective. I just need perspective. And I got to tell you, I love older people too. I love women and older people, and older women are twice as great. And I just love older women. I love older men. I had a guy to show last year, 103 years old. And I said, bring him backstage. I want to meet this guy. And he come back. I said, dude, 103, that is awesome. You're amazing. That's amazing. I said, 103, what's the best part of being 103? And he goes, that's easy. And I said, really? And he goes, yeah, no peer pressure. I said, dude, that is amazing. I've never used anybody else's material. Can I use that? And he goes, I won't remember. I want that perspective that older people have, and I love that they have it in every situation. I was at a corporate event, president of the company. I said, how are you doing? She goes, well, I'm doing better. I said, why better? She goes, well, my dad passed on. I'm like, I'm so sorry. She goes, no, I just need a good laugh. It wasn't unsuspected. He said, we knew it was coming, but it's just that adjustment. I'm like, that's great. I said, I'll pray for you. I encourage her. And her son-in-law came up and she tell you about Papa? I said, yeah. He said, she tell you about the hospital? I said, no. He says, Ken, it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. He said, we went in the hospital room. Papa was sitting there in a corner with his oxygen mask on. Head, eyes closed, just. He says, we are planning his funeral with him. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. She's getting answers. I'm watching him. I'm not seeing any action there, just fogging it up. She goes, oh, Dad, you love that song. Do you want us to sing that song at your funeral? Okay, we'll sing that one. Okay. Oh, you love that song. Do you want us to sing that song? Okay, we'll do that one too. And, oh, Dad, do you want us to do like 10 questions? And he goes, I'm sitting there watching. I'm not seeing anything. Till the last question, he said, Papa was sitting there just. She said, Dad, I can't make this decision. Do you want to be cremated or do you want to be buried? We'll do whatever you want to do. He said, Papa's eyes just shot open. And he looked around the room, took 2 big deep breaths. Took the mask off his face, looked at everybody and just went, surprise me. Process of getting older is not fun, though, is it? No, it's not. My wife she's a couple years younger than me. She's just like, oh my goodness, she woke up in the morning. Oh my goodness, my back. My back, it hurts. I'm like, yeah, I've had that. She goes, no, I don't think you understand. I didn't do anything. And my back hurts. I said, no, I've had that issue. She goes, I was just sleeping. I said, I know. I asked the doctor about it. She goes, what did he say? And my wife's a little bit of a hypochondriac. And I said, well, he told me it was the early stages of OLD. She went, oh my goodness, what's that? You're getting old there, Buttercup. That's what that is. I hate getting older. It's not easy. It's not for wimps. Have you had this one yet? The other night, I pulled a muscle in my leg. Sleeping. I'm just laying there. Oh, man! Oh. Walk to the bathroom like a newborn deer. Guy comes up to me after the show, some 20-something punk kid. He says, hey, man, you know what that is, right? I said, what are you talking about? He says, you know what that is, right? The cramp, you know what that is, right? I'm like, no, not really. He goes, you got to hydrate. You're dehydrated. Just got to hydrate. Or you go to bed, hydrate. I said, dude, I'm in my 40s. I hydrate before bed. I'm peeing 9 times. Depends or cramps. Sticking with the cramps for now. Do some push-ups or something. Getting old's not easy, but I gotta tell you, and in marriage is wonderful. I love being married. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Hey, anybody, any newlyweds here tonight? Any newlyweds? Married less than a year? Anybody? That's awesome. That's awesome. You should be proud of that. I love being around newlyweds. They're just, oh, I love you so much. I love you so much. No, I love you more. I love you more. Just, when you're gone, I can't breathe. It's just like, it's like my heart's gone. It's like he's going to work. He's coming home, all right? It's okay. It's all right. And then you go to this, we're in the stage now where it's like we're seeing the differences, and that little 5% that's different can drive you crazy. I'm OCD. My wife's like, you are so OCD. OCD. And I am. My clothes are all in the right order and different colors, and I can't go by the sink where there's a dish. Oh, the dish, I gotta wash the dish. And there's some good side effects. Ladies, I wash the dishes at my house. Okay? Yeah, I know. I vacuum without being asked. So try to contain yourself, because I wash and soften and dry and fold and iron all the laundry at my house. Now I'm fully aware that I am below average looking, but for women over 30, I may have just become one of the sexiest men alive. I did that at a show a couple weeks ago. Women were throwing clothes on the stage. I don't think they were turned on. I don't think they were going, iron this, wash this. Well, if I have OCD, my wife has a condition I have termed GILD, get it later disorder. We'll get it later. I didn't have time. We'll get it later. Later seems to never come. Get it later. And it's dangerous. Went to the bathroom one night. She had left her drawer out. Oh, man. Oh. Woke up the next day. She goes, what was that noise last night? What was that noise? I said, you left your drawer out. I cut my leg. She goes, oh, I didn't have time. I didn't have time. Like, what do you mean you didn't have time? I didn't have time. I was in a hurry. I didn't have time. I said, I tell you, get your stuff. Okay, get your iPhone, put it on the stopwatch. Ready? Time this. How long was that? Let's do it again. Ready? How long? Wow. And you know, it was a little frustrating. I had a cough one night, walked downstairs, go to get a glass, go to open the cupboard. It was dark. I went to open it. I missed it because it was open. I just, Wake up the next morning in a pool of blood on my pillow. She said, what happened to you? I said, you left the cupboard door. I didn't have time. I didn't even get to finish. You didn't leave the cupboard. Oh. And it can be so easy to get frustrated with those little pieces, but I don't, because that's 95% of the time. She's incredible. I love the little pieces God has blessed me with. My wife has a condition. 4.0 student, language arts teacher, and yet she will mix up words all the time. And it's just entertaining. We're having a disagreement. In the middle of this disagreement, we don't fight really hard anymore. It's just disagreement. She goes, okay, listen, you say potato, I say tomato. It's the same thing. It's really not. It's not even close. And then there's times I don't even know what she's talking about. She goes, I'm just telling you, that just broke the last straw. Is that good? Bad? We're driving. She wanted to throw an idea at me. She goes, no, I don't want you to make a decision. I'm not saying we have to do it. I just want to put a bug in your ear to chew on. She said, what does that look for? I said, I don't really eat bugs. And I can't chew with my ears. And I said, this is one of my favorites. And if you follow any of the Twitter or anything, I actually tweet out my favorites because everybody knows one of these people who does this. And I love this. One of my favorites, guys said the other day, he's with a colleague, and his colleague goes, hey man, next week, let's touch face. No. Why not, man? It's important. I just need to touch face. No. And this is one of my favorites of last year. This lady calls her sister, new job. New job, calls her, how's your new job? I hate it. Why do you hate your new job? My boss, he's always breathing down my throat. I would hate that job too. And I love this one. This only happened a couple weeks ago. A guy said he was in a meeting, got heated, and this guy in his meeting goes, you know what? I just want to let you know you just insulted my ignorance. I would live for that. Well, I can assure you I did not mean to insult your ignorance. I fully intended to validate your ignorance. Matter of fact, I think you're downright stupid. And then there's the extremes. Another lady said her dad had a spot on his hand, called her mom, hey, how's dad's spot? She goes, oh, I don't think it's anything, but made him a doctor's appointment next week anyway. I'm going to go have him get an autopsy. Not very optimistic there, are we? But I love that about my wife, and I need my wife. I don't only love her, I need her, because we have children. I tell you this, my least favorite phrase as a dad, I might have. Last February, it was cold last February. I'm driving my sons to school when I hear out of the back seat, uh-oh. What do you mean, uh-oh? I might have forgot something. Might have forgot something. Now I want to just take a little poll here. Someone on this side of the room here, February, driving to school, he might have forgotten what? Coat. Very good, very good. Backpack, very good. I thought of those as well. That wasn't it, but those are good guesses. Someone over here, I might have forgotten. Who said shoes? Do you know my son? He said, I might have forgot my shoes. I said, well, look on your feet. Do you see shoes on your feet? No, sir. At what point walked outside across a cold concrete floor and not have the thought, there's nothing on my feet. Amazing. And it didn't stop there. It's just ongoing. A week later, my wife told my kids, grab your shoes, get in the car, we're going to eat dinner out tonight. My son's in the living room. I said, did you hear your mother? Yes, sir. Go get your shoes. I don't know where they are. I said, I'll give you a hint. They're not on the ceiling. Go get your shoes. I don't know where they are. I asked him, where's the last place you put them? He did not say anything, but the look on his face was like, well, Yoda, if I knew that, I would go get them. I have a college education, and I'm sucked into this conversation. I asked the dumbest question known to man. I said, where is the last place you remember having them? On my feet. Amazing. Amazing. This is the same son. He lives in his room's in the basement. In the basement, he's got his room. I go down there to see him one day. He is on the couch in this quilt cocoon. You can see just a little bit of his eyes. You can see this much of his eyes. Quilt, fingers holding an Xbox controller. I said, man, it is freezing down here. And I hear out of the quilt, I know, right? I said, why don't you turn the heat up? I don't know how. I said, let me get this right. You can operate 27 buttons. Save the world. But that box on the wall with the buttons in the shape of arrows, that confuses you. I know, right? But I absolutely love him. He's a great student, great little athlete, good kid. And out of nowhere, he'll just come up with something. About a month and a half ago, he's like, Dad, you going on tour in Florida at any time? I'm like, yeah, I go there a few times. You go to Orlando, can I go? I'm like, sure, man, you can go. I said, why do you want to go to Orlando? I want to go to SeaWorld. I'm like, dude, you really didn't like SeaWorld as a kid. He goes, I know, I just want to walk around and see people's reaction. So, what do you mean a reaction? He goes, I'm taking a fishing pole. It's those moments in life you just live for. He's got a brother. I love his brother. And I love those moments in life where you're just like, this is important. I'll never forget when they were little bitty guys. They were like 3 and 4. And we went to this little church, decided to have a big Easter egg hunt, collected eggs for 3 weeks, had 3,000 Easter eggs for this Easter egg hunt. It was raining that Easter, so we couldn't do it outside. So we had an elementary school gym. Now, if you've been to one of those, there's no bleachers, just a floor. So we hid 3,000 Easter eggs on this gym floor. Now get that in your mind, all right? There were 38 kids to hunt 3,000 Easter eggs. Do the math on that real fast. If your kid does not have a full basket, he's what we call a loser, okay? I mean, that's just a minute. And they were letting the kids go by age. They got to the 3-year-olds. My son's like, can I go? Can I go? Cody's just awesome. He's just, can I go? I'm like, I gotta wait. They gotta realize we're at the baseline. There are hundreds of eggs right here. And I said, 3-year-old's ready to go. He starts running, crushing eggs, kicking eggs. He gets to half court. He reaches down, he turns around to me, and he goes, I found one! Get another one. And he starts looking around and starts running again, crushing, kicking. Huh. It became chaos. The kids overwhelmed it. All the eggs are gone. My oldest son walks up, eggs falling out of his basket. He has so many. Cody walks up to my blind spot. Dad, I got him. I'm like, good. All right. I turn around and went, whoa. He had a basket full, not of Easter eggs. He had a basket full of purple Easter eggs. His favorite color. And I went, wow. It was one of those moments where I just thought, that's significant there. And there's something about life that don't get distracted by all the stuff out there. What is really important? And those thoughts go through my mind. What's really important? And I learned this through my kids a lot. God shows me this through my children. About a year later, they were in bed one night. My boys shared a room, and we lived downstairs, and their room was upstairs. And in the middle of the night, 3 a.m, I hear, Daddy! 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 Thought he was sick. I run up the stairs. I walk in. He is standing on his bed. Standing on his bed like a superhero. Daddy! Daddy! I said, dude, what are you doing? He went, Daddy. And like he'd been rehearsing this or something. 3 a.m, he goes, Daddy, I want chocolate milk now, please. I'm like, what? I said, dude, it's night time. And he looked at me like maybe he didn't hear this right. I'm standing up. I should get on my knees. He drops to his knees. Daddy, I want chocolate milk now, please. I'm like, dude, it's night time. I said, you got to go to bed. And he looks at me, and the look on his face is like, what part of this do you not get? I'm saying all the right words. And I lay him down, and he's like, Daddy, I want chocolate milk, please. And I was like, dude, I will get you all the chocolate milk you want in the morning. But right now, it's night time. And he put his head on the pillow, and he turned up, and he went, chocolate milk, please. I said, no, buddy, it's night time. And he rolled over and went, okay, Daddy. And he went to sleep. And as I walked down the steps, it was one of those moments. Now, God has never spoken to me audibly. Never heard that. But it was between conscious, unconscious, that part of the soul where you're just like, I know this is something more than me. And God just whispered, Ken, that's the way I want you to be. I want you to ask for anything. And just know that I'm only going to give you what's best when it's best. And I was just like, I literally stopped on the stairs that night and just went, oh, wow. And see, not only do I want to recognize those moments, I want to recognize the moments as they're happening. And I need help with that too. And I ask God all the time, God, help me not miss these moments. I'm driving my son to practice last year. Last year I get to coach him. I love coaching basketball. We're driving to pull up to a red light. And my son goes, Dad, look. I'm like, whoa. 14 years old. I'm like, man, that's unbelievable. It's a brand new Maserati right next to us. And he goes, Dad, how fast do you think it'll go? I'm like, I don't know. And he says, how much do you think it goes? I'm like, I'm not sure. And then it hit me, Ken, this is a moment. And I said, you know what? I could have one of those. He said, really? And I'm like, yes. And I said, I could have one paid for. And he's like, really? I said, yes. I said, you know why I don't? He said, why? I said, you. I said, you were the reason I don't have one. And he went, oh, man. And I said, no, not all, man. I said, dude, I wouldn't trade you for 10 Maseratis. You're unbelievable. You're incredible. You can applaud that, yeah. And I saw him well up, like, whoa. And I'm like, you're way better than a Maserati. You've been in 10, that car's getting old. You're getting better. We can hang out together. You can feed yourself. You don't poop in your pants anymore. Dude, you're awesome. You are awesome. And I got to tell you, though, I'm stunned he made it. I really am. Because he's got an older brother, 11 months older. And he made it through some tough times because my older son, I'll never forget this. My oldest son was probably just about 2. So he was just about 10, 11 months. And you remember those little bouncy seats? Those little bouncy, you put the baby in a bouncy seat? Cody was in one of those, and it got really quiet. When you have babies, quiet is not good. I walked around the corner. There's my oldest son straddled over the bouncy seat with a bag of cheese puffs, stuffing them into Cody's mouth. He's got like 10 cheese puffs. Oh. And he'd put one in and go, poor kid's going, I ran over, I'm like, Graham, stop. He goes, he like it. And I don't know if you have children that are close in age, and it's normal. They don't get along all the time. We have a very simple discipline, like if you can't get along, you sit on the steps. Sit on the steps. A fate worse than death. Sit on the steps. And they would just say, oh, man, 5 minutes seems like an eternity to like a 5-year-old. I was walking down the hall one day, and out of the room where they shared, I hear this major thud. I'm like, that can't be good. So I start walking down the hall to investigate. And right before I get to the doorway, I hear my second son sniffling. And my oldest son going, I didn't mean to, man. I didn't mean to, man. He said, we don't want to sit on the steps, man. We don't want to sit on the steps. And I hear Cody, he's like, I know, man. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. And the older one to cheer him on, he's like, take the pain, man, take the pain. Where do you hear that when you're 6 years old? Wow. I'm surprised they survive, I really am. And then I remember we were reading these books when they were born, read the books, put them on a schedule, we did that worked great. We read it, said, let them make choices. Let them make choices early and often, and let them find out through failure and learn through failure. Let them make choices. When the earlier they are, make the choices obvious. 4 years old, my oldest son came in, he was exhausted one night. It's time for bed. I'm not tired. I'm not tired. Like, you're tired. And I thought, great part for a choice. I said, now, I said, you have a choice. Would you like to put on your pajamas and brush your teeth and go to bed? Or would you like a spanking? He sat there, he's like, I'm gonna do my pajamas and go to bed. Like, that's a great choice. That is the choice I would have made. Good choice. If you have children, you know they're different. 11 months later, my second son, he turns 4, and he's had a night, he's exhausted, he's staggering, he's so tired. Like, it's time for bed. I'm not tired, I want to stay up, I'm not tired. Like, you're tired, I don't want to go to bed. And it's like, okay, you have a choice. Do you want to brush your teeth, put on your pajamas and go to bed, or do you want a spanking? And he stood there. Like 3 minutes. I'm like, did you hear me? He goes, after the spanking, can I stay up? Five years later, we have a little girl. How many of you have little girls? Wow. They are different. She hits 4. She's on the verge of tears. She's so quiet. She's tired. Like, you're tired. You need to go to bed. It's past your bedtime. I don't want to go to bed. I don't want to go to bed. Well, you're tired. You need to go to bed. I don't want to go to bed. Okay, you have a choice. Do you want to put on your pajamas and brush your teeth and go to bed, or do you want to spank you? She put her finger in my face. No! I don't think that's one of the choices. Those moments teach me. I went to get her up for school a couple years after that. She loves school, loves school. About 6 years old, and out of nowhere, she's on the verge of tears before school. I'm like, whoa, what's wrong? What's wrong? She goes, I might have wet my bed. I said, honey, it's okay. Daddy's good at laundry. You don't worry about that. You go get ready for school. I will check your bed out. You get ready for school. You're okay. Don't worry about it. Okay, Daddy. And I turn around. I look at her bed. I'm like, whoa. I said, honey, Michael Phelps might have won 8 gold medals. He would drown in your bed right now. And I know where they get that whole thing from. They get it from their mother. Okay, I get it. Oh, not the bedwetting. That's my DNA. But the might have part. The might have. They get it from her. It's in her GILD makeup. It's just there. You make it up as you go. And I love spontaneity. My wife is so spontaneous. I've learned a lot about spontaneity. I tell you, I can be spontaneous. Just let me know 24 hours in advance. I'll be planning for it. My sons were young. Their first sporting event ever was going to be soccer, and they were going to play their first soccer games. I was not going to miss it. I had a show in Los Angeles. Walked out of the show, got in the car, went to the LAX, got in LAX, flew all night, got landed, drove straight home, got out of my car, into the minivan, straight to the soccer field. Made it with 3 minutes to spare. I literally went, God, thank you. Thank you so much that I got to their game. I said, are you guys ready for soccer? And they're like, yeah. I said, let's go. And Heather, my wife, she goes, well, wait just a minute. I need to tell you something. I'm like, well, can you tell me on the sideline because they got to go. They're going to be late. She goes, no, I need to tell you before we go out. I can't wait. She goes, no, I got to tell you this real quick. I said, well, make it fast because they're going to be late. She goes, okay. They might think that you are the coach. Why on earth would they think I'm the coach? I've never played soccer a day in my life. And I said, I've never met these people. I might have signed you up. That would be an important detail. And you know what? Some of the funnest parts of life are the details that are left out. When I was in my 20s, I used to teach aerobics. And that's not the funny part. These ladies pictured me in spandex going, oh, no. It wasn't like that. The funny part, though, is I'm walking through the mall one day, and a lady from one of my classes was there, and she left out a very important detail. She just went, oh, my gosh, I know you. And I'm like, hey. She goes, you look different with clothes on. We need an adjective there. Dress clothes would be good. And then I'm guilty of this, using the wrong adjective. Oh, wow. Been married about 2 months. My wife went with me on a first trip she'd ever traveled with me. I get up on stage, and I'm doing my first few bits, and I'm thinking, oh, there's my beautiful wife. We recently got married. I want to introduce this is my precious wife. And what came out of my mouth, I said, some of you met Heather. She's my current wife. That's not the right adjective. And we're all guilty of it. My dad, God rest his soul, my dad was an aeronautical engineer, brilliant man. He thought too much detail. I don't know if you know any of these people. Every Christmas we played Pictionary. Guys against the girls. It was not a good thing when it was his turn. His turn, he looks at it, he goes, oh, I got this one. You sure? Oh, yeah, that's easy. We got this one. Got this one. We turn over the little timer, and he starts drawing what looks like a boat. We guess boat. He goes, yeah. It's a boat? It's not a boat? A canoe, a kayak, a ship, a cruise? No. So he draws an oar, what looks like an oar. We say an oar, a paddle. Is that a yes? Is that a no? What is it? And then for the rest of the time, have you played with these people? He just points. We get to the end. He's like, oh, you were so close. We're like, wow, what was it? You want to take a guess at what that was? The word was round. What's up with the boat? I'm not exaggerating, and I'm not making this up. Because you know that song, Row, Row, Row Your Boat, you sing it in rounds. Yeah, that's so much easier than just drawing a circle. And then there's details, different details. I love this. You get a time where you're feeling bad about yourself, feeling a little down, a little depressed, thinking, I need some entertainment, but I got no money. I tell you what to do. You go to Walmart. Yes. Skip reality TV. You got reality right there. That is a freak show every day right there. I love Walmart. And I'm not judgmental. I'm not at all. And I'll tell you, I'm not. I can tell you honestly. I've never been a woman, never been pregnant. I'm just saying if I were a woman and pregnant, I wouldn't wear a tube top. Really happened. West Cobb, where I live, we moved in Saturdays, cleaning days, threw on one of my college sweatshirts, just Yale, blue with white letters, Yale on it. Cruised down to the social mecca of West Cobb, which is Walmart on a Saturday. 10 minutes, find a parking place. I go inside and grab a little man basket. You know what those are? They made them for men. We just wander around till it's full. I'm done. You know that? Awesome. Walking down this aisle, packed full of people. This guy in overalls is standing right on the aisle, so I can't get by. And I'm like, excuse me. And he's standing there, overalls. No shirt, just overalls. I'm like, excuse me. And he goes, what are you, stupid? I'm sorry? He goes, are you stupid? I'm like, I don't understand. He points at my shirt and he goes, that ain't how you spell, y'all. True story. You want to have some fun, let me tell you what to do. We would go out there after a show. And I told the guys one night, I'm like, hey, let's play Freak the Cashier. And they're like, what are you talking about? I said, you got 5 minutes, pick 3 items. Whoever gets the biggest reaction out of the cashier wins. And then they're tough nuts to crack that late at night. And I win every time. Winning combination, a Hannah Montana t-shirt, a box of Depends, and 1 snow tire. By the time she gets to the snow tire, she looks up. What are you doing? I said, I can't tell you, but it's going to get weird. Now, you want the advanced edition? Go to Walmart after midnight. Now, I'm sure they think me the same way. They're looking at me going, what are you doing, you weird yuppie freak? You ain't got no tattoos, you ain't got no earrings, but you don't even own camo. And we correlate. We can tolerate one another because I love it. There's always, after midnight, there's always one family with little kids walking around Walmart 2 in the morning. And the mom's got her halter top on, just yelling at the kids. Why are you so grumpy? What's wrong with you? So grumpy. You better straighten up. Why are you so grumpy? I'm living for the day that one of those little kids just goes, My parents are idiots. I got a mullet, an earring, and a tattoo, and I'm only 4. There are moments. There are just those moments in life. And I tell you, I love those moments. We were actually, when the boys were small, we took them to Disney World. I don't know if you've ever seen this or not, but the Breakfast with the Characters. Have you seen that? It's where you pay like $40 for cold eggs. And you're sitting there eating and wondering why you paid $40 for cold eggs. And these big furry people walk out. And it's awesome. It's like, oh. And I'll never forget the looks on my son's face. Dad, it's him. It's him. It's the real Goofy. And it's like, wow. And they just light up. And they come over and I high five them. And I'll never forget it. Music starts playing. The doors open and Minnie Mouse comes out. And she's just like, woo! And she's dancing with them and high-fiving them and going around. And Cody, now Cody's my rough and tumble one. He was 4 at the time. He was 3. He ran down the driveway one day, fell down, skinned both knees, blood trickling down. He just, and he just keeps on running. It's tough. Minnie Mouse comes over. They dance. She leans over, puts her nose on his head, just, and he turns flush red. He's like, she kissed me, Daddy. Yes, she did. And then it happens. It happens. They crank the music up. They tell the kids, stand on your chairs. Take your napkins. Wave them above your heads. And the kids are going nuts. They don't get to stand on their chairs. Just like, woo! Hundreds of kids just going, woo! And then these doors fly open and Mickey Mouse comes out. And then it just goes to a whole nother level. And the rapture might as well happen at that moment because the rest of life is downhill from that point forward. And they came out and they got to see Mickey and life was good. And sure enough, they start packing up. And my boys are just, oh man. I said, are you guys ready for Disney World? And they're like, I got an answer I did not expect. No, Daddy, I'll stay with Mickey Mouse. You don't understand. This is just breakfast. And they're like, no, Daddy, I want to stay with Mickey Mouse. I'm like, dude, it's just breakfast. And my saving grace is the monorail runs through that hotel, and they love trains. And I'm like, look, a train. And they're like, oh. I said, you want to ride the train? They're like, yeah. We get on, I said, we get on the train. I'm like, this is awesome. We get to the front gates. Next stop, front gates of Disney World. I said, are you guys ready for Disney World? No, Daddy, I'll stay on the train. But you don't understand, this just gets us to Disney World. I want to stay on the train. And they start weeping, and I'm like, this is Disney. We're going to Disney World. I want to stay on the train and go back and see Mickey Mouse. It's just the train. We get off the train. We start to walk towards Disney. It is not the Kodak moment I had in mind. I'm dragging 2 children into Disney World. We've spent all our savings. You're going to like it. And they're weeping, and I'm just like, would you just at least look at the castle? And they're like, I want to go to... Whoa. And I said, do you want to go to the castle? Yeah. I said, do you want to go through the castle? Yeah. I said, do you know what's on the other side of the castle? What, Daddy? I said, Dumbo is on the other side of the castle. They said, can we see him? I said, you can ride on Dumbo, fly around. Really? And I'm like, yes. And we get over and they get on Dumbo and they do this and we go up and we go down and they're just like, oh, that was so great. And I said, are you ready for some more fun? And they're like, no, Daddy, I'll stay with Dumbo. I got down. I said, look in my eyes. I said, I don't need Disney World. I've been to Disney World. And I said, guys, you got to trust me. We can go see Buzz Lightyear. We're going to go on, it's a small world. We're going to go on these teacups that you sit in and they spin until you puke. And they're awesome. I said, there's these cars that you can drive. And I said, but you got to trust me. And we started walking. I said, okay, Daddy. And we started walking. And as we started walking, I had one of those moments where God just whispered in my heart. He's like, Ken, that's you. And it just hit me, and it wasn't audible, but it was like, Ken, I never want to take you somewhere else that I don't want to take you somewhere better than where you are, but you've got to trust me. And I literally, as I'm walking, going, whoa. Next day, we went to SeaWorld. Orlando's the world city. Went to SeaWorld. Terrors of the Deep exhibit. Sharks, big plexiglass sharks. My oldest son is as far away from that wall as you can get. His head is buried in my leg. Daddy, the sharks can get me. Daddy, he's going to shoot me. I'm like, they're not going to get you, but you're okay. You're okay. They're not going to get you. Cody, a rough and tumble Cody. There's a small ledge next to the plexiglass. He is on the ledge. I want to pet the sharks, Daddy! I want to pet the sharks! I saw this baby shark in the back tank going, that boy scares me, Mommy, that boy scares me. And I knew it was not going to be easy because my oldest son is scared to death. And I know that the last is this moving sidewalk that goes through the bottom of the shark tank. And it goes out the other side. And I knew that it's not going to be good. I pick him up. I said, look at me. Look in my eyes. Look in my eyes. Now look till you can see your face in my eyes. I said, are you okay? He goes, yeah. I said, you're okay with Daddy? You're okay when you're with Daddy? Okay? Okay. We get on the belt and we start going. I said, you okay? I'm okay. And then he looks up. Just then this bull shark goes right over. And his head just snaps back. I'm with Daddy. I'm with Daddy. I'm with Daddy. I'm with Daddy. I said, yes, you're okay. You're okay. I'm okay. I'm with Daddy. I'm with Daddy. And he started venturing out. He started looking and pointing. I'm with Daddy. I'm with Daddy. I'm with Daddy. I'm with Daddy. We got out the other side. I said, are you okay? He goes, yeah. I said, why are you okay? I'm with Daddy. I'm like, that's right. I said, you want to go pet the dolphins now? He goes, yeah. So he and I went to pet the dolphins. Heather and Cody went to pet the sharks. And as we got over there, it's the coolest wall ever. It's like 100 yards around this tank. And it's about this high, and the kids can lean out and put their hands in the water where the dolphins are. It's so cool. And these dolphins are swimming around about 3 or 4 feet away, and the kids are like, oh. And I'm sitting there videotaping, Graham, I think they're about to feed him. Look how active they're. He's like, I know. And I'm looking. And sure enough, this dolphin swims over, and I'm like, they're about to feed him. Graham, look. Are you looking? And he's real quiet. And I put the camera down on him. This dolphin, it came right in front of him, out of the water, and was right there. And he's just looking at him, and the dolphin just went, and went back in the water. And he went, he kissed me, Daddy. Yes, he did. That was awesome. I said, you want to go tell Mom? He goes, yeah. We go tell Mom. By the time we left there and got to Mom, the dolphin had jumped out of the water, had danced around with him, and jumped back in the water. Loved it. But then it happened. Both my sons walked up and grabbed my fingers, one on each side. And they just went, what now, Daddy? What now? And I was like, oh, this is it. They get it. We had such a great day. We went to see Seymour, the sea lion, and Shampoo, the killer whale. That was awesome. They were awesome. Last day we were there, we decided we want a memento, a memory. And we took them to downtown Disney, took them to a souvenir shop. They had this wall, huge wall of stuffed animals, and they're just like, whoa. I said, you can get one of anything. My oldest son went into shopper's trauma. I want this one, I want this one, I want this one, I want this one. And like 8 of them going, oh. I watched him freak out, and then I watched Cody. Cody was right down here to my right. I'm watching Graham do spinning drills, and Cody's standing right there. Now, Disney makes most of their stuffed animals gender neutral. They make a few that are masculine in nature. To my knowledge, they only make one that is feminine in nature. And that is Duchess the cat. My rough and tumble Cody is standing here holding Duchess. I said, what are you doing there, buddy? I want a kitty. I said, you want the kitty? And he goes, Mom, I want the kitty. I'm like, what? Tigger's a cat. You love Tigger. No, Mom, I want the kitty. The Lion King, you love Lion King. Roar. And he's like, Mom, I want the kitty. Every time I made a suggestion, it got closer and tighter. And he held on for dear life. I'm like, oh, it's your choice. He loved this cat. He kept this cat for years. And he never wavered. He loved this cat. I'm like, okay, you got the kitty, all right. And I'll never forget, we came home. 2 weeks later, I went to tuck him in to bed. And I always love to pray over my kids when they're little. I always pray, and I'd touch the different parts. I would just pray. I'm like, God, give them wisdom beyond their days. And I'd touch their head. Give them a heart of compassion. Give them arms that reach out to others. Give them legs that walk in the truth. But Lord, please, most of all, Lord, give them joy. And I would just tickle them until they cannot breathe. And when they couldn't handle it anymore, they would go, my joy takes full. My joy takes full. And I would go, Lord, thank you for giving them joy. And I walked in. I said, Cody, it's time for bed. And he was kneeling on his bed, and I walked in, and he's got his back to the door. I said, buddy, hop into bed. Time for bed. He goes, Daddy, come here. And I walked around, and there's Duchess laying on his bed with his little green blanket over her. And he goes, Daddy, watch. And he leaned over, and he goes, I pray the head and the heart and the legs. Joy, 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 joy. And he said, look, Daddy, I'm the daddy. I said, you can keep the cat. Oh, it's just, oh, yeah. So those precious moments, and you're just like, that's it. It's about passing on. And then a couple years later, it went to a whole new level. Kennedy, our youngest, she couldn't have been more than a year and a half old, screaming one night. Heather had gone in, and she's literally standing there by the crib for 45 minutes, and she tried everything. I went in to help, and she goes, I've tried everything. I changed her, I fed her, I don't know what to do, and she's screaming. And we see a little silhouette in the door, and it's Cody. Like, Cody, go back to bed. It's okay. He goes, and he just mumbled something and walked out. We stood there for another 15, 20 minutes, now past an hour. She's screaming, crying uncontrollably, and there's Cody. He shows up in the doorway. We're like, Cody, go back to bed. It's okay. Just close your door. And he's standing in the doorway, just standing there. And we said, Cody, go back to bed. He goes, she needs a kitty. What? He walked over between her and I at the crib. Kennedy is still crying. He goes, she needs a kitty. And she takes the cat, takes two big, she lays down, rolls over, and goes to sleep instantly. We're like, we both looked at the door at the same time. Cody is walking out the door, and he's just going, she need a kitty. And I tell you, it's not all full of moments. Some of those moments are you just think, what are we doing? Let me ask you this. You got married. Did you have a wedding shower when you got married? Yeah? Awesome. Now, if you have children, you have a baby shower, and they're getting better. Baby showers are awesome. We had the little bucket. It was also the car seat. We thought that was cool. We went to one recently. The bucket is the car seat. It's the stroller, and you push a button, and it turns into Optimus Prime. It's awesome. I have two sons. They are now teenagers. I love these guys. But I tell you, if you have teenage boys, you get a shower. You get a food shower. I'm stunned at how much these people eat. You have teenage boys, you get to go register at Costco. They bring pallets of food into your house. And they drink. My boys drink a gallon of milk a day. A gallon of milk. A friend of mine goes, you ought to buy a milking cow. I said, we did. They killed it and ate it. I took my sons to a buffet restaurant. Buffet restaurant. 3 heaping plates of food. Then they had dessert. Then they had a milkshake. I was sick watching them eat. We drive 10 minutes home. They go in the house. I go get the mail. I come in the house. My son is in front of the refrigerator. So what are you doing? I'm hungry. How is that possible? I don't know. And I asked the dumbest question. I said, are you ever full? He says, no. But every now and then I get tired of chewing. I'm learning. I'm learning as I'm going. And I tell you what, I love hanging out with them. I love hanging out with them. I love being with my wife. I gotta ask this one more time. Guys, if you're a guy and you've been married more than 5 years, let me see your hands real quick. That's awesome. Now, if you're married more than 5 years, you've learned to discern your wife's screams. There is the I am in mortal danger scream. Then there is the I am completely overreacting scream. About 3 months ago, I hear the completely overreacting scream at 5:30 in the morning. My wife's in the bathroom. Now I have a choice. Do I go back to sleep? And then she screamed again. Now I got to go do something. Walk over and I open the doors and I'm like, hey, honey, you okay? And she is on the sink. Towel halfway around, robe wrapped around her halfway, and she's screaming, it was over there, it was over there. It was huge, it was this big, and it was a rat or a roach, I don't know, but it was huge, it was over there, and where am I? I'm standing, I'm still asleep. Okay. I said, it was this big. She goes, it was over there. That's a cat, all right? I'll go take care of it. So look, there's no place for it to go, so I'm just like, okay, I don't see anything. But I'll get some traps, and I'll put the traps out, and we'll take care of it. Okay, did you see it? I'm like, no, I didn't see it. It's gone. I go to bed. I can see through the mirror. I can see her the rest of the morning drying her hair like this. I got the traps. I put them out in various places around the house. The next morning, I get up. Right before her alarm, I went to the bathroom. I hydrated the night before. I go to pick up the toilet seat because I want to be a good husband. I pick up the toilet seat, and there, floating in our toilet, is a mouse. Floating there. Now, when I say floating, I don't mean like in a chair with an umbrella. More like a mob hit. She walks up right to my shoulder, and she goes, what are you doing? I said, did you put him there? And she jumped about a foot and a half. That's him! Oh, what's he doing? What is he doing? Floating, pretty much. She said, why is he in there? Why is he in there? Why is he in there? I'm like, what? You know what? I think he heard you scream yesterday. Felt really bad and guilty about it. Couldn't live with himself. Ended it all. That's over with. He was dead. She said, do you think there's any more? And I'm like, I don't know, but I put the traps out, so we'll see. That night, I walk into our walk-in closet, I open the little crawl space door, and I look in there, turn on the light, sure enough, his brother was in there. I walk out, I'm gonna be honest. She goes, was there any in there? I said, yes. She says, what did he look like? What did he look like? I said, you know what? I can tell you exactly what he looked like. He looked like, oh, look, peanut butter. Man, I've made a decision in my life that I will now match my wife's emotion in every situation. To show her that I care for her, that our hearts are indeed beating together. The next time I hear that scream, I'm busting through the doors. Your prince is here, my lady. I've heard your cry. But what vexes thee? For our hearts are one. And if it vexes thee, it vexes me. Tell me this now. Now. Then I shall hunt down this rat roach beast of crawl space. And he shall feel the sting of my sword. And I will vanquish him and destroy him, and I will end this reign of fear in our castle. We will return to the marriage chamber. We will lie on the wedding bed. And we will do what lovers of 20 years do. We will bask in the glow of television. For at least 8 to 10 minutes before falling asleep. Sleep does not end our love, no. No, our sleep is deepened in rest. For even in our unconscious, our love deepens. For in our unconscious, you beckon unto me. And I hearken back. And when our sleep is no more, and slumber's journey is complete, we awake to this enriched love, and our lips like magnets are drawn, and they touch ever so gently, and we realize at the same time we share the breath of a dead camel. We return to the room where the rat roach beast once ruled. And we brush our teeth. And as I brush, I notice in the reflection the pools of brown that are your eyes. And they speak to me and they say, I married that. And I see you in all of your naturalness. And we realize at the same time that this is true love. Thank you. God bless you. I'm Kenn. Thank you.